you want to tell them? Don't want to be Vanna? Please? So today we're going to talk about all the things you need in your vehicle when it's winter here in Central Oregon. Oh no. Am I there?
Yeah.
Okay, come here. Get closer. But the first thing I'm going to touch base on is the little things that are going to happen here in Central Oregon when it starts to get cold. So typically on, Weston's getting dripped on. Typically on our first big freeze. So the freeze where you go out to your car and you actually have to like put some elbow grease into scraping off of your windshield, your tires are going to lose air. So you're going to get in your car. If it's new, it's going to tell you. You're going to get in and be like, I seriously have a flat tire, or I seriously have 3 flat tires, which happened to me this year. And you're going to go, no, big swing in temperature means you lose air in your tires. So the first thing that you're going to do when we have that first big cold streak, Weston keeps getting water, is you're going to head down and put air in your tires, check the PSI that's needed on your vehicle, and then, put air in your tires. They're not flat. You're okay. The second thing I do, typically my windshield wipers during the summer, it's super dry and hot here, they get dried out. So I always notice that in the first big rain that we have, and your windshield wipers just aren't working. So always during this time is when I replace my windshield wipers, front and back. Another thing that I typically do during this time is check my spare tire. So spare tire's fine. I should have vacuumed out my car before this video, but we checked that as well. We also switch up the fluid that is in our windshield wiper things to more of a de-icing fluid during this time as well. And like I said, that first freeze is typically my reminder to do all of this. But then I thought, okay, as we're switching from summer, which I carry different things in my car during summer, we're going into winter. I'm going to talk to you about all the things that I carry typically in my car during the winter. So something that I carry in my car year round is actually this emergency kit my dad got me. It needs to be a little bit restocked, but duct tape. This is actually an air compressor that puts air in your tires. They have a little emergency kit, poncho, jumper cables. There's a blanket in here. There used to be zip ties in here, but we've used them all, so I need to restock that. But these cables, there is a headlamp. So pretty much just your basic needs. An emergency kit. There are triangles down at the bottom of this as well, and this just stays in my car year round. Dad got it for me for Christmas one of these years. Okay, and then speaking of jumper cables, and this is also why you check your vehicle's kits before winter, because I have a feeling my kid, I think so, because this is typically a battery pack, and the battery pack will actually jump your car with these little cables, but it can also be used as a battery pack to charge your phone and things like that. So typically that's in here. This stays in my car. I'm going to have to find that battery pack, but how I found this thing is we went to a drive-in movie theater in Newburgh. We unfortunately left our lights on, which we didn't know, and our car died. And you're like, great. A drive-in movie theater. So what you do there is you pop your hood and random people just stop and help you. A guy had this, told me he got it at Costco. It is less than, I think it's $99, but less than $100. And it is fantastic. He jumped at least 6 cars that I saw with this one battery pack. This has saved us with camping if we're needing to charge our phones, because you can plug a USB into it. We bought a bigger one for camping because I need a blow-up mattress, but I don't carry that with us all the time. It's called Jackery. It's amazing. But I ended up buying everyone one of these for Christmas because it is a fantastic gift. They all have it in their vehicles. It has been a lifesaver for us. And then another thing, this I typically take out of the car during the winter, but during the summer, we keep a fire extinguisher in the car because it can get pretty hot here. And Wes is laughing because he had late night shenanigans and actually used it, which I just found out. So again, check your kits because sometimes teenagers use and abuse the items. But we keep this in the car during the summer because you never know. Side wildfire or your car engine catches on fire. So always keep one of those with you. Just your typical basics. So like a blanket, which we have another one in there. I typically like to carry our wool blanket, which is like a Pendleton blanket because it keeps you warm even if it's wet. It can be used to put out fires. But again, I need to find it. We typically take it camping. It's probably packed in camping gear. So we keep that with us. When we are getting ready to, or here, let's talk about general stuff. We typically have a knife. We typically have gloves if you're needing to change your tire, put on chains, which I also need to find as well, because those are in the garage. We put them somewhere. So gloves, all of the things to change a spare tire. We typically have chains in here for winter. Your handy dandy ice scraper, which typically stays up front with us. And then we always keep a tow rope in here, and I always keep it down here with my spare tire. And we keep one of the nylon ones because we learned our lesson when we had a really, really, really deep snow. And my car sat in snow and ice for probably about 4 days because we couldn't get it out. They just kept plowing and more snow kept adding up. And when we finally came to get it out, my friend who was helping us had a actual metal chain and just did a little bit of damage to my bumper. Paint and also popped it off, but that could happen with anything. So we typically always keep a nylon tow rope in here as well. During the winter, we typically, if we're going over the pass, keep snacks with us. I don't keep water in here because it'll freeze, but if I know that we're heading over the mountain, we'll pick up water bottles so that we can have extras with us. We typically carry like our large jackets as well. And then one new thing that we're going to start carrying this winter is ice melt. So I actually have a cool little shaker that I'm going to put it in. That we refill every time because you just shake it and it melts stuff. But I think that would be nice to have around, especially if you get stuck. You could start melting the snow around your tires because that's where it builds up and you get stuck. We used to have a little mini snow shovel that we carried with us, but I think in our moves it got misplaced. So
Stolen?
The mini one you think got stolen? Oh, well, we used to have a cute mini shovel. It popped down probably to about this in size. We kept it in the car. Probably end up replacing that, but I'm bad. I won't replace something until I get like somewhere where I wish I would have had it. And then I'm like, yeah, I probably should replace that. So we're going to replace that. We do need to replace our first aid kit as well. We've gone through them between camping and stuff like that. So I got these little ones at the Dollar Tree to hold us over. Has alcohol and Band-Aids, so that's something that we'll have to replace as well. And then also word of advice, if you are going somewhere in Oregon and you're heading over the mountain, what I always like to do is go to tripcheck.com. That'll show you all of the roads here in Oregon that have cameras, and our passes actually have those cameras. So I like to check how the passes are looking before we go, so I need to know what I need to put in my vehicle. And another thing that I highly recommend, that is if you are driving over the pass or just in general, because the snow can hit you at any time, keep your vehicle, if you're just in town, over a half a tank. But if you're heading over the mountain, fill up. There have been at least 3 times that we have been driving over the mountain and have been stopped for a significant amount of time because there's been an accident and there's a snowstorm. And there's times where we sat up there for about 2 hours one time before we were even moving, where your vehicle's running to keep you warm. It's in a snowstorm, so having that gas is really, really important. So If you're heading over the mountain, fill up your tank. If you're here in and around town, highly recommend that you keep it over a half a tank when the snow starts to fly. Just better safe than sorry. I don't think I'm missing anything. Like I said, we typically have chains in here, which you'll need chains or traction tires if you're heading over the mountain. You can put on your studs on your vehicle starting November 1st, and they have to be off by March 31st. Sometimes they extend it, sometimes they don't, because the metal studs do hurt our roads. So they're a little touchy on that subject. Another thing that people like to keep in their car is like a general toolkit. I don't typically keep that in my car. But I do know that my sister does, and there has been quite a few times where I've used her ratchet set. Never for car-related things, but I'm like, hey, you have ratchets more than we do. Can I use them? And it's always in her vehicle. So some people keep that as well. If you have any other questions of items that I keep in my car or that I recommend keeping in your car, I'll make another one of these come summer, because there's quite a few things that we keep in our car during the summer as well, both for fun and to stay safe. Just let me know. But other than that, thanks for watching this video, and I hope you have a great day.